Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. Yeah, welcome to another great episode of the Windy City Rundown. I am Eric Avila. Jose Contreras will be joining me pretty soon as I get everything figured out here. But welcome to another great episode. We have a lot to talk to you guys. It's been a while. How's everybody doing out there? We wish to see you guys in the comment section too as well. I will drop the link in the comments in the comment section too if you guys want to join us. As always, talking to us as well. We missed you guys. We are back to our normal schedule programming, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, all the good places. Make sure you guys follow us for sure. Like and share our shows on your Facebook page and also subscribe on YouTube. It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. A lot to talk about, a lot to get into. The Bears draft came and went. A lot of people very disappointed about what happened with the Chicago Bears and their drafting styles. Excuse me. Felt like it wasn't up to people's par, I guess, to their standards of what they needed, because the Bears do need a lot of help. They need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. They did pretty well with Thielman from safety. They needed another safety, but the big discussion was the defensive line. The Bears didn't do anything or none at all to help the defensive line on that aspect. The Bulls and Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan broke up with the Chicago Bulls. We're going to get into that a little later too as well. Bulls full rebuild. I think that's everything that we all wanted, everything that we all asked for, but do we trust them? That is another thing too as well. Do we trust the Chicago Bulls to do so? And for some odd reason, early baseball signed to come. Don't know. But the Cubs and Sox, both of them, are literally a game and a half from first place in the respective division. Now, take what you want to take. The divisions on both are night and day from the divisions from both the AL and NL Central. So take that for what you will. I'll get in that. Jose Contreras should be joining me a little sooner, a little later on in the show. So hopefully we'll go with that. But yeah, like and follow us on our social media page. Also like and share on our Facebook page. Also subscribe on our YouTube page too as well. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the show and let's talk about what the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears felt. Well, let me say this. A lot of people have very mixed emotions about the Chicago Bears and what they've done in the draft this year. 100%. By the way, new background. Hope you guys like it. Liking our Facebook page too as well. Our new logos. But a lot of people are very upset with the Chicago Bears on what they did last Thursday, and basically last weekend. Can't even say last Thursday, but last weekend with the draft. Not a lot of people were too excited. A lot of people obviously knew what they wanted to do. A lot of people felt like what the Bears needed to do. It wasn't that case. That wasn't the case for the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears decided to do their own way, their own thing. And a lot of people were upset because of that, because we feel like the Bears have a gaping hole in the defensive line. And a lot of people felt like the defensive line is where the Bears needed help. And when I need help on this show too, I guess I could call on this guy to show up. What's up, Jose? How are you today, my guy? There he is. What's up, dude?
Eric. What up, man? How you doing?
I'm okay. I am okay. Just, ready to start the show, talk about the Chicago Bears and how you feeling about the Bears in their draft position. I also decided to do this. I have a poll question for everybody on here on our Facebook and YouTube page. Vote on it. What you guys feel on it. Where do you guys want it? How do you guys feel? Where do you feel about the Chicago Bears? Yes. Did you like the Chicago Bears believe in the process? No. You didn't like it. They didn't do enough on defense. Or 3, you don't care as long as they win. Jose, where do you fall in this poll?
Do you like the Bears draft? I'm going to put. I guess if I had to choose between the three, I'm going to go with three. As long as they win, I don't care. But only because look, we can sit here and play GM all day, all of us, everybody, right? Yes, I think if we all had a chance, or if we were all in that draft room and we were GM, we probably would have seen if we can go defense in certain rounds over certain picks. But at the same time, Eric, we kind of just have to trust the process. I hate saying that, right? We're not the Philadelphia 76ers, but nobody expected the Bears to be where they were last year. Ben Johnson clearly showed us that, he knew what he was doing to a certain extent, right? Last year's draft, with them getting all of the offensive weapons, played dividends. This year, I'm looking at these picks and I'm like, okay, you know what? You sold me over through text about the guard. The tight end, yes, we were all kind of flabbergasted as to why would we do that when we have needs on the defensive side. But looking and thinking about it and reading and listening to people, right? 13 personnel seems like the new trend in the NFL, right? Having the 3 tight end set where you could use tight ends like Cole Kmet, like Colston Loveland as receivers, but also as extra blockers. That's only going to help your running backs and your wide receivers, and more importantly, protect your quarterback. So if you're getting a tight end like Roush, who everyone says is probably one of the best tight end blocking tight ends in this draft, then I trust Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson. I mean, why wouldn't I? Right? Like year one was a great. Now next year, if this new season comes up and they're not as good, or they took a step back, and the players that they drafted this year didn't contribute or whatever, then we can sit there and judge. But as of right now, we don't know what the future looks like. We just kind of have to sit back and wait. Let's hope they address the defensive line, because one thing, as I mentioned, trends, right? One thing that we saw a trend with Ryan Poles early on in his career here as a Bears general manager, he didn't beef up the offensive line when he needed to until he was like, crap, I need to do it, right? Until it was like literally smack that in his face, and you saw what he was able to do last year. We kind of see the same trend with the defensive line. Seems like he's not doing much for the defensive line, and the last thing we need is that to be the reason why we don't win playoff games or make it over the hump, because we can't get to the opposing quarterback, right? At the end of the day, we did do some strong stuff in the secondary. We're going to have a strong secondary, so let's see how that pans out. But that's why I'm at number 3, right? Because if we can make up for it in other areas, maybe we have a shot.
100%. There's free agency still left. I mean, it's still going on. It never stops, right? There's a lot of key free agents out there on the defensive line that can help us on the defensive end. Obviously, the popular one is Cam Jordan, simply because he already played under Dennis Allen. Joey Bosa is out there too. Von Miller. Those are just the 3 key players that we know and that we understand that's out there right now at the moment. I don't have the list in front of me, but for sure, those are the 3 that are the main focal point, the main talking points of the Chicago Bears of free agents that could be addressed on the defensive line this now after the draft. As we go into the comment section, Tony, what's up, man? Hopefully everything's all well. Tony goes on and says, after all these years of watching the Bears being a defensive team, no more. It's an offensive team now. I trust these guys to do the right thing. Trust bottom line. You know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right. It also just feels like this is the new trend and the new way. Like you just said, 13 personnel, 3 tight end sets, yada, 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 good stuff. You're here and there. But Jose, the one thing I would say, right, and I think I'm into the boat where I say no. I think they didn't do enough on defense simply because it was a need, right? Sure, we have players on the team now, Garrett, Sweat, Jervon Dexter, the kid that they drafted last year that was hurt all year, Dio Dangbo, Austin Booger, just to name a few that I can think on the top of my head right now. On the defensive line, it's just it doesn't feel or doesn't scream like a very good or very well prepared, just a very well-rounded defense on the defensive line front, right? You win in the trenches, and I feel like the Bears lacked that last year. They didn't prioritize it last year, or felt like they prioritized last year. They did prioritize this year simply because we saw what this team was last year with somewhat of those same players, right? nothing's really changed for the Chicago Bears. And I really do believe like they missed out on an opportunity to get something like that. Now, whether the draft fell to them or not, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day. You know, you could have traded your way up. You could have done something, you know, traded, you know, probably even a player on the defense in the draft like the Eagles did, getting Greenland. You know, there's many different ways that the Chicago Bears could have done to improve the defensive line. They didn't. And I honestly felt like that's where the Bears left themselves a big hole because yes, they got speed, yes, they got quicker, yes, they got athletic on the back end of the draft, but sometimes you gotta rush the quarterback, man. You gotta apply pressure to, you know, make him off his throwing stance, do something. Like you have to do something, and the Chicago Bears didn't do enough last year to apply pressure, and I felt like they didn't do anything to even add to apply that pressure, right? That's why I feel like no, they didn't do enough on defense. Like these are the what is it? The 7th draft picks that the Chicago Bears drafted this year in order from the 1st to the 6th round. The first pick, Dylan Thielemann, probably one of the top safeties out there. Nobody thought that the Bears were going to get him. The Bears didn't think he was going to get him. He fell to them, and by luck, the Chicago Bears got a very great safety for their secondary. A secondary that they need. A safety that they needed because they only had one with Kobe Bryant, right? Then they got the center Logan Jones from Iowa, the tight end that everybody's kind of questioning in the decision. And Sam Roush, the tight end from Stanford, for the first third-round pick. Their second third-round pick, which caused a little bit of ruckus for everybody, was Xavion Thomas, a wide receiver from LSU. Malik Muhammad from Texas, cornerback. Keyshawn Elliott, linebacker from Arizona State. And they finally addressed the defensive line, Jose, with their last pick in the 6th round, Jordan Vandenberg, defensive tackle from Georgia Tech. Those are your 2026 draft picks for the Chicago Bears, Jose. And let me tell you, man, it just felt like day one was a success, but day two with round 2 and 3 was basically a kick in the nuts or a punch in the gut to suck out the air of how we felt about the Chicago Bears coming into the season, this new season.
I originally
don't say I don't know. Do not say you don't know. Are you texting me on? Do you want me to talk to you
or what? Do you want me to talk to you or what? I was literally about to say before you rudely interrupted me that the day of when it happened, I was going crazy.
I don't like how you started.
Let me finish. All right, it's been how many days since the draft? Okay, hindsight's 2020. At the end of the day, I was very upset when they drafted Logan Jones, whatever the center, because I thought we needed defense. I thought we needed defense at that moment. You, my beautiful wife, you guys talked me off the ledge. I started thinking about it more, right? I took my emotions aside, and then the tight end happened, and I just laughed, right? I was in the movie theater with my son, went to go see Michael Jackson. Tight end, I was laughing. The wide receiver, I was like, "There's no way! Like this is crazy." But afterwards, I thought about it. Right, my main concern before the draft was what did we get better or did we get worse? And everything that we did in the offseason, it seemed like we only got worse. Not because of the additions, because of the subtractions. Because before the draft, we didn't have anybody to replace DJ Moore. Zachariah Okadiah, whatever his name was, right? We lost 2 wide receivers. We had nobody to replace them. We lost our center. We got one from New England who isn't touted to be the best. So I'm like, okay, we drafted a center to basically better that position. I can't be mad at it. I really can't be mad at it because at the end of the day, you guys are right. We needed someone better in that position. Okay, cool, perfect, got it. But let's keep that same energy with the wide receiver. We did lose some wide receivers, right? We needed somebody to fill that void. We drafted the young wide receiver from LSU, who's also a really good punt returner. And remember, we're not going to have Duvernay also. So you're filling in some positions there. I get it. I would still rather, if it was up to me, I would still rather have an edge rusher or a defensive line. But at the end of the day, I get it, right? The goal is to get better at least in that position. I think we did in a way, right? Okay, cool, got it, whatever. The tight end, I really can't say much about, did we get better in that position? Because I feel like we didn't need to be in that position. We had Smythe, who we no longer have. You could have gotten anybody else, but I get it. This is Ben Johnson's offense. This is Ben Johnson's team. If he feels like we need a tight end, another blocker, because to maybe make up the deficiencies of the ones we have now, who am I to say you're wrong? That guy knows what he's doing. Again, I would rather have an edge rusher or someone on the defensive line. But if these guys are looking at their draft board and they're looking like, hey, you know what? Maybe the ones that are available aren't ones who we feel like can make an impact. We think these other guys on the offensive side can make a bigger impact. Again, who are we to be like, you're wrong? Who are we? We again, hindsight's 2020. We could be that way when these guys maybe don't show up and aren't good players. Yes, then we could judge them all day long. But at the moment, we I'll be a hypocrite, Eric, if I told you I complained all weekend, right? Or that day of the draft. I'll be a hypocrite saying we didn't get somebody good defensively if there wasn't anybody defensively good enough. You know what I mean? Like if we would have skipped on Logan Jones, right, the center, if he really was the best pick available, and we did what I wanted, which was a defensive lineman, but that defensive lineman wasn't as good as Logan Jones could be at center, then I'm a hypocrite. Then I'm wrong. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I gotta trust these guys at the end of the day. Until they prove me wrong, I gotta trust them. I got to. Tight end Roush, I gotta trust him because the kid looks like he might be it. You know? We did get another linebacker. We did get a defensive end at the end of the day, but we basically gotta hope and pray that they pan out. I don't know. Again, I can only trust what they're able to do before the season. There's still a lot of offseason left. You brought it up. Maybe they get somebody in the offseason, right? Could be anybody. I don't know, man. I really don't know. But at the end of the day, there is a trend. It could bite them in the ass, but if it doesn't, then we look like the fools complaining.
100%. And if you guys want to join us in the poll that we have right here, make sure you just type 1, 2, or 3 in the chat to get your vote in. Number 1, yes, I believe in the process. Number 2, no, they didn't do enough on defense. Number 3, as long as we win, I don't care. Jose went with number 3. I don't care. And I love that you said that. You know, this is Ben Johnson's team, because also Ben Johnson needs to know and understand that he is a team of 53 men. Out of those 53 men, half of those players, or a quarter of those players, however many players on defense, he's also in charge of that team as well. It can't be all offense, man. He's not an offensive coordinator. He is not the head coach. Yes, he calls the game plans for the offensive side of the ball. Yes, he is the main voice in that room offensively and also defensively when it comes to the Chicago Bears. That is where he needs to understand that the Bears have needs and necessities outside of the offense. Yes, a tight end was needed because of, whatever the other third tight end is no longer there. I forget his name. But a blocking tight end in Roush. All right, cool, great. Another wide receiver. You said that we need a wide receiver. Keep the same energy. The wide receiver room was just fine. Yes, we lost DJ Moore, but also we fell in love with Rome Odunze, who we all said was going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. We all fell in love with Luther Burden III, who was supposed to slide in once DJ Moore was going to be gone from the Chicago Bears, right? We all loved Jade Walker, who showed up in key moments last year on the defense. The wide receiver room was not a necessity. The tight end room was not a necessity.
But you still need another wide receiver.
A necessity is when you have no one, when you are almost dead last on defense in every defensive category when it comes to pressures and quarterback pressures and sacks and everything like that, when defense is getting ran over because trying to do their best to hold their defensive assignment of holding their wide receivers, they have no help. They get no push whatsoever. The necessity came from the defensive line of the ball, Jose. Yes, you could tell me that, yes, we lost Smythe. Yes, we lost DJ Moore. Yes, keep that same energy that we didn't have on. Yes. But in reality, Jose, that is all wrong how to look at it, because everybody was going to be elevated on the offense side of the ball that did not. And I repeat, did not really need enough. Now, do we get this? Now, Granted, the center, great pickup. I think that pickup on the center was good. From Logan, I forget his last name. I have it right here. Logan Jones. I think that was great because that was a necessity because our center retired on the Chicago Bears 2-3 months before the draft even started. So I think that one was a needed part of the offense that needed to be filled because you need somebody. That quarterback center exchange is key in the NFL nowadays. But the tight end and the wide receiver, I felt like that wasn't needed. I felt you needed a lot more on the defense side of the ball. Hell, another linebacker, we got him. I don't need linebackers or defensive tackles in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, Jose. I need players that can be plugged in right away in the 2nd or 3rd round, that could be plugged in right away in the 2nd and 3rd round. That what we did, grabbing them in the 5th or 6th, 7th round for those type of guys, man. And it just, I wasn't upset as you were when we picked the tight end. I think what made me more upset was Davion Thomas, wide receiver. That one pissed me off the most because it just felt like Ryan Poles neglects the defensive line because we already have this is 6, 7 drafts with Ryan Poles, 5, 6, whatever the amount of numbers. It's already been multiple. It's been more than 5 for sure, but he's yet to kind of get a staple on the defensive line in any of his drafts. And that's worrisome, Jose. That is worrisome for the Chicago Bears, a team that, like Tony said, and I'm going to read his comment right now, said that it was a defensive team. Now it's offensively. And he said, be honest. So, I mean, Jose is it's just one of those situations, Jose, where it's just like you have the needs right there. They're blaring on your team, and you decide to do whatever's right for you at the end of the day. Which
okay, but think about this.
Not needed.
Think about this.
That's how I see it.
Just think. I hear you, and I'm not telling you you're wrong in your feelings. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. But at the end of the day, if this guy, Davion Thomas, goes off for 5 or 6 punt returns this year, you're going to be like, okay, I see why. Maybe, and again, it's there. Hold on. If this guy, Davion Thomas, listen, who has the same frame, same build as Jahmyr Gibbs, who, by the way, has a faster 40 time. This guy can blow. He's probably going to be the fastest wide receiver on the team. Again, listen to what I gotta say. If he's good at those options, maybe Ben Johnson is licking his chops, looking at this guy, and it's like, okay, he could be a Tyreek Hill-esque guy who's faster than everybody. We know he can catch because he's a good punt returner. My thing is this: if he could if he could be that type of utility tool, where it only makes our offense so much better, whether it's field position or whatever it is, right? If they could turn him into that, then we all are like, okay, we get it, we understand, right? But that's still yet to be seen. I'm not sitting here telling you you're wrong. I'm just sitting here and telling you what maybe is the reason why they did it. Maybe they're looking at this guy like, okay, we'd be fools to pass up this type of potential, because again, their job is to evaluate and to kind of predict the future in a lot of these players. It's not our job is to speculate. Our job is to give takes. Our job is to give opinions, and we're going to be right and wrong, man. How many times are we right and wrong? Like, Caleb's first year, we thought he was going to be unstoppable. We were wrong, and it wasn't his fault. It was more of the team around him, but we still thought that him and that team was going to be great.
I'm more often right
now this year coming up, we all didn't think they were going to be as good. We were wrong there again. So again, we can't sit here and criticize,
right?
Fully until it plays out. Like I said, this guy Davion Thomas could be 100% one of our favorite players. I get you as far as, I guess, we have wide receivers. No one says he's going to come in and be number one. That should be Rome. No one says or Luther Burden. No one says he should get more touches. We have Colston Loveland still, who's going to be one of our best receivers. All I'm saying is that if we have a second threat, because now that these guys, now that DJ Moore is gone, These guys are going to get the opposing team's best defender. These guys are going to get the most of the schemes defensively from the opposing team. So we need someone who's gonna be able to basically, surprise other teams. And maybe this guy could be it. I don't know. It's not my job to know. I'm a fan. It's my job to judge when shit's not going right. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I understand your frustration, because it's my frustration too as far as the defensive line goes. But maybe they see something we don't. I don't know. Maybe they look at the secondary like, hey, you know what? Who cares? Like we're gonna have some lockdown corners. We're gonna have safeties who could stop the pass. I don't know, bro. Like, and I'm not telling you it makes sense. I'm just telling you I don't know. Like all I know is I trust Ben Johnson because he's only shown me that I can.
Guys, if you see me posting up the numbers here on the Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys, make sure you follow us on other social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. But on your YouTube and on your Instagram, on your YouTube and Facebook page, if you write down, we have a poll right here. The question on our poll is: did you like what the Bears draft? Number 1 for yes, I believe in the process. Number 2 for no, didn't think they did enough on defense. Number 3, as long as we win, I don't care. Vote on YouTube and on Facebook too as well. Either type number 1, number 2, or number 3. Tell us how you feel. Join us in the comment section like Tony did. Tell us how you feel. Or the link is also in the comment section too as well, where you could join us on YouTube and also on Facebook. We're talking about the NFL draft that the Bears had this past weekend. There's a lot of mixed emotions from everybody, myself and Jose included. We were texting throughout the whole entire time, and everybody in the city of Chicago too. I think confusement is probably the best word. I think we're just all perplexed. We're all confused. We're all just like, we don't understand why, or we don't understand why the Bears did this kind of route, especially when it's definitely needed in the second round. We're trying to understand, we get it. The Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson have a plan in place. Best player available, take the best player available. That's fine in the great and dandy. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, there's moments where best player available becomes a need. And if you can't find it at that point, either you move up, try to find creative ways to get there, to get the players that you need, the best player available, because sometimes you just need a swing. You need a swing for the fences, and nobody will judge you, or we won't look at you differently if the Bears made a move to move up, get an edge rusher that they really wanted, and he doesn't pan out. I don't think that would be a bad thing for the Chicago Bears or for Ryan Poles, because he at least did something. He stuck to his guns. He traded away a player, or he traded away a draft pick, or moved up in the draft to get a said player that he's needed for his team and wanted for his team, and just didn't pan out. I think that's one thing that we can't fault him for if he does do that. But what we can fault him for is neglecting what is needed for the Chicago Bears on the defense side of the ball, especially on the defense line, the defensive line. I think if you and the one thing that is going to be on everybody's mind is that we need to be proven wrong by the Chicago Bears this season for not filling a dire need on the defense side of the ball. And I think that's the one thing, instead of being happy, we're just going to be like, look, we told you so. Like, Jose, we can't. I feel like if we win 42-45, just think about majority of just out of the 17, 18 games that we had for the NFL season, which the NFL schedule should be coming out in a couple weeks. So we're going to do a show about that. Keep tuned right here on Windy City Live or Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube. Jose, I feel like this year, even though if we win 42-41 or 42-43 or whatever the score is in the high 30s, high or low 40s, I feel like we're not going to be excited or happy with a win simply because we're just going to be like, man, if the Bears did this, if the Bears acknowledge the defense, we would have never been in this situation, yada, 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 yada. And I think that's where the issue is going to become, where, like, yes, we're winning, but, like, at the cost of what? And that's what this season is going to come down to at the end of the year. Tony with the number one. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you for voting on the poll. Right now on the poll we have 75% no, they didn't do enough on defense, and 25% yes, I believe in the process. Like I said, guys, vote on Facebook and also on YouTube. Number one, yes, the Bears did enough, believe in the process. 2, no, they didn't do enough on defense. Or 3, I don't care as long as we win. Zach on Facebook says, "Skull Vikings fan." We will start running down in the next couple weeks. Zach, thank you for jumping on. We will be doing in a couple weeks our rankings of the NFC North and throughout the whole entire NFL, from wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, all that good stuff in the next couple of weeks. Tony, trust, appreciate that too as well. But yeah, a lot coming up. But like I said, the Bears NFL schedule should be coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to give you that rundown. Obviously, we're going to do the favorite meathead thing that we do every single year, the win-loss records for the Chicago Bears for the 26-27 season. We got to look out for that. Join us in that a couple episodes. And then we're going to be ranking everything on our NFC North and also the NFL. Tony, I know it's hard, but look at the season we just had. Tony, the one thing I will say about this is that was last season. This season is different. If Ben Johnson says last season was last season, we focus on this season, Tony, that is my mindset. I don't care. Last season was fun. Great. Cool. On to this season. Let's move on to the next. We have to improve. And right now, Tony, as we speak from last season to this season, Tony, defensively, we have not improved. We got it faster. We have not improved. But yes, keep on the lookout right here on the poll section. Like I said, vote number 1, number 2, number 3 on our voting sections here. Just type it on the chat and we'll go from there. Jose, we haven't been on for a while, man. And we missed one of the biggest news in the whole entire NBA and for the Chicago Bulls. Billy Donovan broke up with the Chicago Bulls a couple weeks ago, Jose. How do you feel about it? Like, there's a coach that broke up with the Chicago Bulls, a coach breaking up with an organization, man. Billy did the right thing, right?
Yeah, man. He ran when he needed to run, and nobody blames him, man. And nobody blames him at all. He should have.
No, hell no.
It's look, what pissed me off, and I know I wasn't on the last time you were on. I'm not sure if you talked about this or not, but what pissed me off was when we heard Michael Reinsdorf talk about, oh, we're going to be looking for, a GM, president of basketball, whatever, right? And we want them to want Billy Donovan. If they come in and they don't want Billy Donovan, then maybe they're not the guy for us. That pissed me off. Because I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So you're telling me if the best possible candidate out there, someone, let's say Ben Johnson, right, for the Chicago Bears, wanted to come here, but he said, hey, by the way, I don't want this defensive coordinator on my team. I want to hire my own guy. Imagine if Ryan Paul's like, no, this is the guy you need to be okay with. This is who you want. This is who we want you to have. And he's like, no, well, then fuck you guys. I'll go somewhere else where I have full control. Right. Imagine that. And then we get someone who isn't as good.
Like Mike Vrabel.
No, I mean, he was a good head coach, right? It's just, bad off the field issues. But if you're Michael Reinsdorf, what do you mean? You can lose out on a Ben Johnson. You can lose out on someone great for your organization because you're not willing to give up the head coach. That's why I'm glad Billy Donovan did us and the Bulls organization a favor by leaving. 100%. He was a good coach, 100%. He was good. I'll give him credit for everything that he was able to do and withstand with this stupid ass organization above him ruining everything. He was able to do a good job. But he did us a favor by leaving because now they have no choice but to find whoever and actually extend their search to whoever because they don't have that restraint that they had before. It's idiotic for them to think that way. But it's the Bulls organization. It's the Reinsdorf family. I mean, is the sun yellow, the sky blue? Like, you know what I mean? It's that obvious.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're absolutely right, Jose. And it just feels like this organization doesn't know what to do or what they are doing in order for them to like move on to the next phase, right? Whatever the next phase is. Like I feel like this group of owners just feel like they just can get away with it and still live off the nostalgic feeling of the Chicago Bulls, right? We spoke about it a couple weeks ago. Like, yes, they're doing great with the White Sox. You know, well, I'm not saying this, they're not doing great. What I meant to say is there's light at the end of the tunnel as a White Sox fan, simply because there's going to be a new ownership in the next 5-6 years, and Ishbia running that organization's, you know, soon, right? We can't say that about the Chicago Bulls. Like, you know, even though Billy Donovan left, like, do you trust Michael Reinsdorf saying to hire the right GM? Like, do you trust them to have that negotiation of finding a right head coach? Like, do you even, you know, like, we're going to look at their moves, even though let's just say it's a great move. Like, we're still going to look at that move where they're very skeptical simply because, like, what is going to be the restraint for that GM and for that head coach? Like, what is it? And plus, what we're going to do with 20 billion second-round draft picks that we have for the next 5 years, right? Like, instead, like, I mean, dude, like, we spoke about everything. Like, Ayo Dosunmu just scored 40-some-odd points the other day in a playoff game. You know, in a playoff game, he scored 43 points, and we gave him up for a Gatorade cooler and a bag of chips for the Reinsdorfs up there on top, bro. And a second-round pick on top of that. You know what I mean? It just feels like, yes, like there's no more idiots running the basketball organization, but there's still idiots in the ownership. And do you trust those idiots to make the right move or to make the right hire to build this organization, to build this team back up from the ashes to where it's been at for the last, I don't know, 25, 26 years? Because this organization really hasn't proven anything in the last 25 years that they care about winning or they care about taking the next step into winning. And that's where they feel like there is no light, there is no escaping this dark cave that we're in as Chicago Bulls fans.
I agree. I agree 100%. And it sucks, honestly.
So yeah, I don't know. How should I say this? I don't know if we're going to actually have that excitement back for basketball, Jose, because I have not watched a single second of the NBA playoffs. And I haven't watched a single second of the NBA playoffs or NBA in period in the last 4 years. Like, I miss watching basketball, but I don't want to watch fucking the Denver Nuggets and whoever they're playing against. Like, I don't even know the matchup, the lineups, the matchups in the NBA playoffs are, dude. Like, I don't. Because I can care less about basketball right now because the Chicago Bulls sucked out all the fun of basketball for me, bro. Like, I don't know who's up in the series. I don't know what teams are playing against who. I keep up by scoreboard watching on my phone when I get the updates like, OKC just swept. I don't even know who the fuck they just swept, right? I think it sucks, man, because basketball is probably like the next true sport that I watched right after soccer that I genuinely just enjoyed watching, and I can't even do that. Like, I can't even like enjoy watching other basketball teams because the Bulls sucked out so much of my love for the sport because they fucking blow, dude. They just suck, man, and I don't trust none of the Reinsdorfs or any of the Reinsdorfs to get this right for the Chicago Bulls, and we're just going to be in the same hole once again for the next 5 years with 25,000 draft picks, second-round draft picks for the Chicago Bulls, bro. It's like it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy, man. It just I miss basketball. I miss basketball. I don't know what else to tell you, but I miss it. I genuinely miss basketball, bro. And I just wish that the Bulls can just get it right for once. You know? Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook and on YouTube. Like and share our shows on your Facebook page. Also, like and subscribe on our YouTube page too as well. We have a poll up on our comment section. Did you like the Bears draft? Plain and simple. The questions are yes. Yes, I believe in the process. No, they didn't do enough on defense. Number 2 or 3. As long as they win, I don't care. So vote 1, 2, or 3 in the comment section on how you feel about the Chicago Bears and the draft process. Hey, look who's on the show. Duffman, what's up, my guy?
What up, Duff?
What up? The Bulls are in for a long haul rebuild. Sucks, but hopefully it will be beneficial. Hopefully. Also, the Seattle Supersonics are up 3-1 in the series. I mean, look, man, it's easy to say that, Duff, to be hopeful. It's easy to say, there's something that, a clean slate, new GM, new basketball operations, new head coach, new everything. A bunch of young kids are going to come through. We got to pick the right ones. We have 2 first round picks for this upcoming draft for the NBA, whatever that means in that aspect, right? There's optimism there for the Chicago Bulls, but it's just like the name Reinsdorf just sticks with the Chicago Bulls, and nothing comes with it. Nothing but misery, nothing but headaches, nothing but like what the fuck, like spending this amount of money to watch garbage and complete garbage, NBA player garbage, literally, or supposed stars, and watch garbage on the floor. Billy Donovan got it easy, man. He got it easy. He got out when he needed to get out. So that was him. Duff goes, I agree. I lost interest in the playoffs too because the fun is lost right now. No, 100%, dude. 100%. And I've been feeling like this for the last 4 years. I've been feeling like this for the last 5 years. I've been feeling like this since the Bulls were last in the playoffs with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Lonzo Ball. Like, that was my last time I had fun. And even then, slowly my fun started going away, fading away during that time. So, I mean, look, man, just this is where we at for the Chicago Bulls. And I think this is the lowest we've all been in years. But you know who's not low right now, Jose?
Who?
Do you want to know who's not low? Both the Cubs and the Sox. They both won today, by the way. And they're both 1.5 games out of first place in their respective division. Jose, look, now I get it. The conversation that we're about to have is a little bit weird because we never talked to Chicago White Sox. But let's also let's run a spade. Let's keep a spade, Jose. The Chicago White Sox are only that far away in their division simply because everybody in the AL Central sucks. Look at the other end, on the other spectrum with the Chicago Cubs, Jose. They're in a dogfight with every single team in that division. And that division is close. And with another win today, the Cubs got a half game behind first place before the game even starts by the Cincinnati Reds, who are in first place right now in the NL Central. But every team in the NL Central is above 500, while every team in the AL Central is 500 or worse. Is this a telltale sign of an early season baseball season or a sign to come for the rest of the year?
Oh man, I hope it's a sign to come for the rest of the year. It's just hard to say for both teams. For one, like the Sox, they're hitting really well, but can they continue? Right? Can they be consistent? This is a long season, so anything can happen. But for the Cubs, what worries me the most is pitching. No. And it's not the ones who are there doing their job. It's the ones who can't, who are injured. We lost Cade Horton. Justin Steele was supposed to come back. There was a setback. Who knows how long he's going to be out for. It's crazy. The Cubs should be one of the favorites this year. And I feel like those 2 injuries might have, I don't want to say set them back, but I don't know. I think it's going to stop them from doing anything deep in the playoffs for sure. But who knows, right? It's a long season. I think anything can happen. Someone can emerge. Someone can emerge to be as the top pitcher. Justin Steele could very well still come back. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, yeah, man. Chicago baseball, like our boy Mario said, is 100% back. Let's just, it's too early in the season to tell if this is going to be sustainable or not.
You're absolutely right, man. And the list of Chicago Cubs and their injury list just keeps extending for them. You know what I mean? It just nonstop, man, nonstop. It like from losing Cade Horton to Tommy John surgery to we're supposed to get Steele before right around June. Looks like we're not going to get him back until after the All-Star break. Ben, it just the list keeps going. Who else did we lose? I feel like we lost a lot more too as well. But you're absolutely right, man. What was supposed to be a deep pitching staff for the Chicago Cubs, man, looks like it's just being decimized, especially the bullpen. The bullpen has lost a lot of arms on that aspect too as well. I'm trying to look up at the list right now, Jose, of the amount of pitchers that we lost, but obviously key contributors in Horton and Steele not coming back is also is also a killer. But the conversation on the South Side, Jose, is just this could be a year for the Chicago White Sox to where like nobody had any of that type of expectations for the Sox to be in some type of playoff contention. You know, they just want them to like be at 70 wins. I think they need a new higher mark in winnings or in wins, should I say, for them just to be somewhat excited about. But you know what, man? Just right now, in the position that the Chicago White Sox are in right now, it's just kind of like it's going to show whether or not this team, the Reinsdorf and Ishbia and Getz, really care about the Chicago White Sox fan base as a whole. To what moves are they going to make? Now, look, we never expected the White Sox to be at this position, right? 1.5 games out of first place, third in the division. Yes, they may be under 500, but still, listen to what I'm saying. The White Sox are 1.5 game outside of the AL Central in the beginning of May, or about to be the beginning of May. Like those words wasn't like if we would have said that 2 months ago, we would have been crazy. They would have told us shut this podcast down. We don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? But now it's a reality that the White Sox are a game and a half out of first place, man, and they've been a surprise for the Sox fans simply because of Murakami. Let's be honest. They're the leading home run of all the baseball is just taking the South Side by storm, man, and what's also keeping the White Sox at bay at being in this position this time of the year.
They got some good building blocks. They got some, really good potential. Right now for White Sox fans and Cubs fans should be looking at the team as much differently than the other fan base. Cubs fans should be looking at the team like, hey, we got a team that can compete as long as we're healthy. White Sox fans are like, hey, we have a team that we're rebuilding right now. There's some foundation pieces that look really good. We just got to keep stacking, keep building. White Sox are looking for the future. Cubs looking for now. So as far as the White Sox go, continue to build, continue to hope that these guys continue to bring in the right type of players in, and then the sky's the limit there. You know what I mean? And for the Cubs, we just got to get healthy and hope and pray that this team are buyers at the trade deadline. And, unlike last year, we're able to bring pitchers in that will make a difference for us in the postseason.
It's funny you say that the White Sox are building for the future, right? But in this position right now, let's have this conversation right now on one of the last days of April, and let's run it back at the end of May. And if the White Sox are still in this position right now, where they're a game and a half out of first place or in first place, right? Let's put that out there in the universe, in the ether. Let's say that the White Sox are in that position. Do you then, beginning of the month of June, still think about the future, or do you now shift that mindset to where fuck it, let's build for the right now and see what we can get out of this window of possibly maybe making the playoffs for the first time legitimately in like 5 years? Like what you had
for the White Sox, yeah. I mean, but it all depends. Like you said, we're still in April. You know what I mean?
Right. But I'm saying hypothetically, let's put themselves in position. Do you still think about this future May 29th of this year, May 29th, when we're in first place or a game and a half out of first place, where we just make minor moves, where we could just go for them now and just plan for the future later? Because a lot of White Sox fans are gonna have that conversation to where like, fuck, like this division sucks. It's there for the taking. You might as well just do something that we haven't done in such a long time. I mean, you can't think about the future on May 29th when you're a game and a half away from first place or in first.
You can, yeah. You can. We just, at the end of the day, though, it's like you're right. You have to have realistic conversations. If you're Chris Getz, if you're that front office, you have to have realistic conversations about yourself. Hey, we look good now, but are we going to make a run in this year's postseason? You know what I mean? If teams who are ready, we all know which teams can win it all this year. If those teams are knocking at the White Sox doors for certain players who are very productive this year, and they're offering them something that could really help this team, it may be in the future, but overall this team, like, the big picture here, which is sustainable, consistent success, year in, year out, you'd be almost foolish to not look at him and consider trading whoever it is, right? And that's the tricky part about this, right? Because yes, you could be 2 games away from first in the end of May, but do you really think you have what it takes to compete in the postseason, to win in the postseason? And if you do, and there is no trade offers that really like knock your socks off, then yeah, go ahead and be buyers. Why not? But if you're getting some offers for some pieces that could really change your organization around, then yeah, you know what? Maybe concede this year because, you know, look at the big picture. You're not going to win it all this year, and get something in return where maybe next year you're a lot closer than when you where you would have been this year. You know what I mean? For me, White Sox should be sellers in that regard. You know what I mean? Buyers and like more future-based buyers than anything. Even if their success continues at the end of May.
The first move they should make if they're really serious, let Murakami be the first $100 million player for the Chicago White Sox, and then we'll probably have that conversation.
The fact that he has to be the first one is what's atrocious. But
it's
yeah, I agree.
Right? It's crazy.
But I agree with you. Yeah, I agree.
Benintendi is your highest paid player at 87, but whatever. We're not going to go there. By the way, this is the injury report for the Chicago Cubs on the pitching aspect. Ethan Roberts on a 15-day. Cade Horton done for the season. Tommy John. Jordan Wicks, 15-day. Had a rehab start the other day over the weekend in Iowa. Hunter Harvey, triceps, will start throwing on Friday. Porter Hodge, elbow, 60 days. Caleb Thielbar, 15-day, playing on the 15 with a hamstring. Rylan Martin, another one, diagnosed with a flexor strain on the left elbow, missed 8 weeks on the 30-day. Steele, setback, will be after the All-Star break. And then Daniel Palencia on a 15-day after hurting his lat last Friday. Those are all the pitching injuries for the Chicago Cubs so far in this young 2026 season, Jose. And I mean, I gotta see the free agent market out there for the Cubs, man. But we need to start spending money on pitching, even if it's a 1-year deal. I'm starting to believe there is no such thing as a bad 1-year deal because Shota Imanaga has shown that 1-year deal for $22 million that he's getting for this year doesn't look that bad, man. Believer, there's no bad 1-year deals, man. I mean, we've seen a lot with Tucker. We saw it with Tucker. We saw it with Bellinger. We saw it. Those weren't bad 1-year deals. So, in the comment section before we end the show, right now we're alive. Both teams are alive, but I hope I can keep this trend going for a while. I don't want to see either one down or out by the All-Star break. Love to see both as contenders at the end. Are they, though? Not to be this guy, though, Duffman. Not to be this guy, but the AL Central blows. The NL Central is pretty strong. So, I mean, if you want to put that into contender aspect, cool. But numbers are not telling lies that the White Sox are a game and a half out of first place in the AL Central. So I guess I'll put in that part. The White Sox have great pieces in place. Still need to keep building right now. The way that they're played, I'll be happy with wild card conversation. That's a win for me because it's a defiant turn. Oh, it's a definite turn from last season. 100%. 100%. I mean, not even last season. The last 2-3 seasons, where 100 losses was just a common thing. And all it took was a great signing for Murakami to do so, to take you into that next level or to put you in the position that you're right there. And also a really bad AL Central too as well. I'm not going to let that one go because, I mean, there's only 2 teams at 500, but everybody's 500 worse for the AL Central. Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have new logos on here. Hopefully you guys like that too as well. Like them on our Facebook page. Make sure you guys share our shows on your Facebook page as well. And then let's like and subscribe on YouTube. I'm missing something. Jose, it's good to see you, man. It's good to finally do the show again.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. We're only getting better. 100%. We got to keep this going. And only be better. New outro. We'll play it right now. It's a new intro outro. Some I cooked up real quick on the quicks, you know. Maybe it'll be a little bit better next week, but something on the quick.
Love it.
To just kind of match the theme of our new logo, new banner, and all that. So.
Yeah, Jose, the 2002 ball was probably like the first non-repetitive ball from the World Cup. The turn of the century, the one from Korea, Japan. This ball reminds like this World Cup was probably like the first memorable World Cup that I had, Jose. In my memory, probably kind of. I mean, I was 2002, so I was 10 at that time. 9, 10, 10, 9, 9. I was 9. No. 10, 11? I don't know, whatever the case may be. 11.
But you were born 1991 like me.
1991. Yeah, so 11. But this World Cup was very memorable to me. It's the one that I remember the most. Brazil, Germany, final 2-0. Ronaldo R9 with the goal after scooping up an error from Oliver Kahn. But a lot of memorable goals, a lot of memorable aspects. I think Korea and Japan were probably Korea was the first Asian team to make it to the semifinal of that year. Mexico had able to get these goals against Italy coming out of the group, but also it was also the first sign, Jose, of this USA-Mexico rivalry that kind of took the turn from the USA's page and kind of been after that. The United States eliminated Mexico in the round of 16 to reach the quarterfinal that year. 2-0 victory, the United States against Mexico that year. Everybody thought Mexico was going to get a nice little run in for that one. That wasn't the case. But yeah, man, that's 2002. As you can see, the World Cup's coming right around the corner. I got 6 more weeks left. Have all the World Cup balls right here for display for you guys. So that's the history on that one too as well. And yeah, dude, yeah, Arsenal 1-1 today. It's Atletico de Madrid. Very intense. They should have gotten a penalty. They should have never received a penalty. Yeah, that's all the soccer news for today, my guy. Yeah.
Hey, WrestleMania wasn't night 1 sucked. Night 2 was great.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about TKO right now, but I would say everything post WrestleMania has been pretty good. You know, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, everything's been pretty good post WrestleMania. So I think they can make up for what they've done, but man, is WWE a lot different nowadays.
Outside of the releases, I mean, the releases was also a big thing too as well. Kairi Sane, everybody from the Wyatt Six, Motor City Machine Gun. Who else left at that point? I mean, those are probably like the biggest ones too as well. There's always Stark who like literally blew up her knee and then just got released this year too as well.
But what was crazy is that she was cleared and set to return.
Yeah,
she was cleared to return, and instead of bringing her back, which I thought she was pretty good, they got rid of her, man.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. I think Kairi Sane was the one that hit everybody the most, simply because she was actually in the storyline with Io and Asuka, you know, waiting for that babyface turn from Kairi. But I mean, it is what I mean. Look, I don't know how true this is, but there's been multiple reports out there that supposedly TKO is getting their creative ideas from an AI generated source. I just want to put that out there. I found that funny. Don't know if it's true, but it doesn't. I wouldn't pass on it. Like that's the way it's supposed to be.
I'd be a hypocrite if I said I don't use AI from time to time. It helped me make these logos, this outro that you're about to watch. AI was a big part of it. But hey, I'm using it. But look, I'm using it for. No. There still has to be some type of creativity, right? Because you still got to have prompts. AI is more like a cheat code to make these things in seconds instead of you wasting labor time. You know what I mean? But that's why I agree with guys like Ariel Helwani who went on their podcast and said, hey, you know, WrestleMania almost seemed soulless. I agree with it. It did, but it's only because of the ads, everything that they put up for sale. The fact that they really had somebody who sat next to Michael Cole and the commentating booth, it was a fan who just paid money to sit there during a match. It's like not everything should be for sale, and I agree with that 100%. I don't know how true that AI generated thing. I hope not, because Triple H is a smart guy. He doesn't need stuff like that. Like
100%. But then also at the same time, it doesn't help that your pappy-in-law is not your owner, and like you're listening to outside sources that used to be family ran WWE and wrestling in general, and now it just became a corporate business at the end of the day. So I agree. Duff says Mania Night 2 has really led the new narrative so far right now for storylines, and
Really
everybody was just saying that at that point, Jose. Everybody was saying that Night 2 felt WWE, Night 1 felt TKO in that aspect, and even then, so Jose just it's still. What I'm trying to say, like it still doesn't feel like it still hasn't struck me like damn WrestleMania just left. Like it's not a very memorable WrestleMania outside of the CM Punk Roman Reigns one that took like almost an hour to finish, but which was the longest match. But everything else outside of that, like the matches are so short, matches are so quick, the ads were longer than the matches sometimes, and it's just that's where it felt where everybody's talking or coming to about with that aspect. So I get it. I don't think it's going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. Even watching Netflix, Raw on Netflix, all the ads, and that's the future of WWE until something comes up. That fan in the commentary that got booed loud there, we were all like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" I mean, TKO, everything's a viral moment from ISO Speed showing up. It started with Logan Paul, ISO Speed, Jelly Roll. I mean, I get it. Celebrities and athletes love WWE. I mean, it was shown throughout the years growing up. I mean, hey, LeBron James with a flip phone when he was first in the NBA. Shaq, everybody. We get it. Yes, it's all for entertainment, fun, and purposes, but it shouldn't be watered down with everything else. Like wrestlers should wrestle. It's cool to have a celebrity every once in a while, but I like my wrestlers to be wrestlers. Maybe that's just the old man in me, punching the sky type thing.
Overall, I like Night 2. Night 2 was great.
Night 1
was super weird. The fact that you had an hour and 15 minutes of commercials and an hour and 24 minutes of wrestling is crazy to me. But Night 2 really made up for Night 1 because you had the emotional connection with Brock return. You had the amazing matches on the card. The Roman and CM Punk, right? The grand entrances, everything what WrestleMania should have been was Night 2, and then everything that it should not have been was Night 1 because you got to see all the holes and the cracks for all the stupid ass storylines like the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, which didn't need Pat McAfee or Jelly Roll in it. Even if they did take them out early, we didn't need all that. You had 20 years of history there that could have carried that match, but hopefully they learned their lesson. TKO shouldn't be an issue. They shouldn't be. You don't ever hear anything about TKO when it comes to UFC, and they're also the same parent company as UFC, but you never hear anything about it. They should stay in the shadows, away from the limelight. Not saying they're doing it on purpose, but the fact that it's coming up the way it is pretty disheartening. So hopefully they learn from this and they keep it like that. Our boy Duff says they let green t-shirt guy walk the ramp, and I'm like, why? The ramp and ring needs to be sacred. I agree 100%. Night 2 was amazing. Roman champ again, acknowledge him, our tribal chief, 100%. Which, by the way, I found out the green shirt guy is just a rich guy with money. He has no ties really to the business or anybody backstage. He gets his tickets it's called like an on location thing where you get to purchase those and have those seats for each event, but you have to pay that premium. So he's just a rich guy with money who makes it to every show. Supposedly he has real estate, but nothing crazy like that. Also, go on to say Brock breaking script and calling a career was an amazing shock. It was a mania moment. I agree. I don't think though, however, that was his last match. I think the way they're setting it up with Gunther wanting a favor from Paul Heyman, he's going to be the one to retire Brock at SummerSlam in Brock's hometown in Minnesota. That's just me.
I don't know. I legit. The one thing about Brock Lesnar, and we're going to end the show with this, I think that's what he likes to do things his way, and sometimes that pisses a lot of people off. So if you're really going to have that WrestleMania moment where you take off your boots, you pretend to cry, you take off your gloves, you're crying, you're getting emotional, you make Paul Heyman cry, do all that, then, and then all of a sudden you just come back, you
yes and no.
you know, it just
that was his final WrestleMania.
It ruins that moment of Brock Lesnar. And I get it though. When you hear that guitar going and it's Brock Lesnar, we all get super excited from it. And yes, but then also I'm not saying to water down Obafemi, because I finally, you know, Obafemi is that guy, and I do believe he's going to be that guy in the WWE for the next couple of years if they do it the right way. But back to Brock, I just think that he's just gonna piss off a lot more people he's gonna piss off most of the people that celebrated him that day, and he's gonna piss off those people for him coming back just for have this match, just to see him lose again, because they had this mantra for Gunther to retire. To retire these old superstars in the WWE.
You know, Mario, it's funny you say that because I thought the same thing, and then I came across a TikTok of some guy going up to him when he was outside of WrestleMania, saying that same thing. It was like, "Hey, are you the guy who got punched by CM Punk?" And he took offense, and he was like, "No." And he explained how he gets his tickets. But I thought the same thing. But he shut it down, saying that wasn't him. And then I went down the rabbit hole to see if that was true, and I guess he's done interviews and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's
kayfabe.
I thought the same thing though. I thought the same thing.
Kayfabe at his finest. Well, we like to thank everybody, Duff, Tony, Zach in the comment section too as well. We're gonna put up more polls for you guys. We're gonna do this on a consistent basis. We're gonna be on here on a consistent basis Wednesdays at 7:00 on Facebook and on YouTube. So set an alarm. You know, make sure you guys hit the little bell on both YouTube and on Facebook to get notified when we are live. As always, like and share our shows on your Facebook page. Like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Follow us on all our social media platforms outside of Facebook and YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. We'll be back on next week, same time, same place, 7:00. Talk about more Chicago sports, see what we got going on, see where we at for the baseball season, what the Bulls are going to make. Hell, probably even talk a little bit more soccer. Who knows? Champions League semifinal next week. That and a lot more wrestling conversation too as well. So Windy City Rundown has you covered from all aspects of the sporting world. For Jose Contreras, I am Eric Avila. I will see you guys next week. And as always, Jose, hit that outro.